Hey there, fellow hungry travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today I want to talk about the Wurst video in Germany. No, not the worst, the Wurst sausages. Because honestly, when you come to Germany, you have so many sausages you can choose from. It's insane, all right? So I want to talk about some of the common sausages you'll probably see when you're here, and the most important one, the one you'll see all over the country, the one that the guys are like at the train stations holding up the kits, like selling sausages for, is the Turer Roast Bratwurst. The Turer Roast Bratwurst. This is the quintessential bratwurst. Like, this is your on-the-go snack you want to have when you do come here to Germany, because it is so good. And when you think of German bratwurst, that is the bratwurst you think of. So that's number one. And the thing is, if you're coming here at Christmas time or when there are festivals, sometimes they have the halb meter bratwurst or the half-meter bratwurst you can have. And oh my God, it is so good. So you have that. Now, when you come and you look online for German sausages, you know, the last 10, 20 years, one thing has like really come up in popularity, and that's currywurst or curry sausage. Now, when you think of curry sausage, you think, oh, there's curry in the sausage? No. What it is just a bratwurst that's cut up, and then they put curry ketchup on top of it, and then you eat it. It's from Berlin originally, but now you can literally get it at almost every single sausage stand throughout the country, but it is really, really good. And the thing that's funny is it's so popular, but it has curry ketchup, because most of the time when you get bratwurst and sausages here in Germany, you always have Senf, mustard with it. It might be a normal mustard Senf, or it might be a spicy Senf, or it might be a Süße Senf, a sweet mustard. It just depends on the kind of sausage you have. And so I'm here in Bamberg in Bavaria, Franken, and a popular sausage down here is Weisswurst. So Weisswurst is a white sausage, okay? And when you have it, traditionally speaking, you're supposed to have it before noon, because back in the day, the casing wouldn't survive, so you had to eat it early in the morning. And so, or at least before noon. Now you can get it any time of the day. It'll come in a hot boiling, like a hot water there where they cooked it in, or it's at least keeping it warm. You're gonna take it out, you're gonna have it, and you're gonna use a fork and knife to eat it, and you're gonna have it with the sweet mustard, the Süße Senf. Oh my God, it's so good. Here in Bamberg, there's a place that sells it only till 11:30, and you get the white sausage with a pretzel and the sweet mustard with a smoked beer with it. Yes, please. Dankeschön. And that Weisswurst is made with a combination of veal and pork. And most of these, you know, all these bratwursts, these sausages we talk about, most of them are pork-based, but there might be some veal or other meat in there. And the spices they put in it really gives it a different flavor. And what's interesting is when you look at the different sausages, when you go to some of these sausage stands, you can see the difference when you're there. So, for example, if you're going to be here in Bamberg, and that's one thing, there's a lot of regional sausages, okay? If you're here in Bamberg, they have the Bomburger Bratwurst. And what it is, if you look at a normal sausage, it's actually thinner. It's like a bratwurst went on a diet and got thinner, right? So you're like, oh, it's like a diet bratwurst? Well, not really, because you usually eat two in your bun instead of one when you have it, but Bamberger bratwursts are very good. If you're over in Regensburg, the Regensburger bratwurst, I mean, literally you can go to where there's a bridge where they've been selling bratwurst for like 1,000, 2,000 years and go there. And the Regensburger is smoked and boiled before they grill it for you, and it's so good. And there's so many different things out there. I mean, if you think about sausages back home, you think, oh, what about those Frankfurters, my hot dogs back home? What do they have? Well, those are called Frankfurters, or you might see them called Wiener for Vienna sausages. That's your kind of like traditional like hot dog kind of thing. You can do that, and you might get it with a roll. You might get it shoved in a bun, or sometimes you just have it with a piece of bread, okay, with mustard. So the Frankfurter or the Wiener sausage, more like your traditional like hot dog back in the U.S. You think of it that way. But if you see one that looks like a hot dog, but it's totally fat as all can be, that's called a Bockwurst. And Bockwurst, meine Güte, and Bockwurst is extra groß. It's like really, really big. And you'll get that and they'll pull it out. And you're like, whoa, how am I supposed to eat that? You'll find a way, don't worry. And it'll come, you'll have your mustard on the side and your little piece of bread or your roll with it, and you will just love it, okay? Now, my dad's favorite sausage to have here when he's in Germany is actually called a Cawa, or a Polish sausage. If you ever had a Polish sausage, you know, it's got that spicy flavoring to it. Yeah, you can get that a lot of places throughout Germany. Like, wait, Krakow, doesn't that mean someone from Krakow? Yeah, it's a Polish sausage, so Krakow. Now, one that I enjoy, which you don't see everywhere in Germany, you see this more in Austria, to be honest, is what's called a Quesa Kina. a cheese, it's basically a cheese bratwurst. It's a bratwurst that's infused with the cheese, and when you snap into it, oh, that cheese explodes and melts the inside of your mouth, but you don't care because it tastes so good. And that's one thing you can tell. If you get a good Wurst, a good sausage here, it snaps. Like you bite into it, it pops, it snaps in your mouth. You're like, oh, that's a good one. Now, another one you'll see pop up sometimes is called a Metwurst, which is basically beef and pork mixed together. It definitely has a different look. Like you'll see, like, wait, why does that one look different? Because that's Metwurst. And the thing is, you might notice different colorings and flavors. Like here in Bamberg, they have a Blaue Ziffer, which is a bluish sausage, which you're like, dude, that looks blue. I don't know if I should eat that. You can when you're here, and it just really reinforces just how regional the sausages are when you come here. So it's like the beer. Have the regional beer, have the regional sausage. Yes, there's some great ones you get all over the country, but go for the regional ones to really enjoy the Wurst experience. Now, another one you might enjoy is the Coburger Brat, and the Coburger Brat, it's more than 15% veal, so it has a different flavor to it. I actually like that one quite a bit, so that could be a go-to for when you're here, though you don't see it as often as you used to, so that's why sometimes I'd like to experiment when I'm going around, and I'm like, oh, I haven't heard this one before, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna try this, to see which ones you really like, you know, but you can never go wrong with the Turer Roast BR. I mean, there's a reason why that's the #1 around the country, because it's just so good. And also, you know, when you think of sausages, you think of the traditional, like, casing kind of sausage, and there are other kinds of, like, sausagey kind of things you'll see at the sausage stand. One, you might see a boulette, which is basically, think of a pork hamburger. That might be something you have. There's also Schweinsteak, which is a pork steak that might show up with those things as well, so you can do that. But I think one you need to know about is Leberkäse. And Leberkäse is, think about the inside of a sausage as a pate and put that on your bread. You might be able to eat that. I mean, it's not as bad as it sounds. When I talk about Leberkäse, what I really think about is actually Leberwurst. And you think, oh, it's Wurst, so it should be a sausage. Well, no, Leberwurst looks like German, I'd call it German meatloaf, okay? So it has the pork and the other mixings kind of pureed together, then it's formed into a loaf, and they cut you off a loaf. Like you cut off a slice of bread, you cut off a loaf, you cut off a slice of Leberwurst, you put it on a piece of bread. It can be cold or hot. I recommend hot, and eat it that way. You'll be good to go. And I think that's one thing that surprises people as well, is when you look at how you eat your sausages here, it's not just in a traditional like hot dog bun like you think in the US. A lot of times it's just in a roll. And so you have a roll the size of your hand, but the bratwurst will come out to here and here. That's totally normal. And then you just line up that mustard along the top and get it all over your face, because that's what happens. And a lot of times you actually will put your own mustard on there. You can put ketchup on there. However, I don't recommend it because it's really supposed to be with Senf, with mustard, when you are here. And the thing is, there's so many other sausages you can have when you're here. There's Burnwurst, you get Blutwurst, which is blood sausage, you know, like black pudding you have in England. You can find that at places too, though not very common, but it is an option. And that's one of those things, is when you come here and you're looking for a truly German street eat, a very German snack, you can't go wrong with a Wurst. So what is your favorite bratwurst or sausage to have here in Germany? Please let us know in the comments below, and if you have a good Wurst joke, go ahead and put it down there too. I wish y'all the best. I'll say tschüss from here in Bamberg, Germany.